I've got Gavin Rossdale here.
All right, Gavin, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm fantastic, my friend. Thank you for taking the time to call in and hang out with me for a little bit today.
No problem. I'm looking forward to it.
I actually got to see you live the very first time. It was on tour in the 90s with No Doubt and Moby.
Oh, nice. Okay. Campus College Invasion Tour. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
You played my little town, Lubbock, Texas.
I don't think No Doubt were on that tour. They were on the Goofy Dolls tour. But anyway, I'm happy. It's the 90s. So long ago. Who cares?
Yeah, exactly. I was just happy you came, and the only reason you might remember it was because it was Lubbock, Texas, and that's where Buddy Holly was from. So maybe that might stick out.
Oh, of course. Good old Buddy.
Yeah. How are things in the Bush world, man?
Really good, really exciting. You know, about to head off and start the big tour, and then we head off into Europe, do a few festivals, and we end up in New Zealand and Australia, and yeah, you know, just everything's good. You know, can't complain about stuff. Well, I can complain about loads of things, but I'm not going to. And everything's good in the Bush world.
Fantastic. I was checking out when you released the last album. Now that was July of last year. I Beat Loneliness, and it's a lot of bands that came out of a certain era, whether it was like the hair metal or the glam or the grunge and the stuff of the 90s. A lot of those bands don't ever get the chance to progress and improve and move on with their sound. But the new Bush album, there's something about it that it's 100% Bush, and yet it's also very modern and cool. And I was like, this is really great. I hope people get a chance to really dig into this.
Thank you so much. That's the greatest compliment you could give me. Yeah, it is about evolution, and, you know, I'm so proud of the material that we have had through the years. And, you know, to me, to survive, you have to adapt and grow. And I continue to try and evolve musically. You know, the whole world of detuned music. I've got so much. I thought it was so much cooler to get heavier as opposed to kind of mellow out and start playing yacht rock. You know, it was so much cooler, and it's so irrational. You know, it's the opposite of what you're meant to do, and I've prided myself always on doing the wrong things or the opposite of what people would say you should do. My whole life has been a catalogue of people saying, no, don't do that, and then I do it. It's the only thing that's worked, you know. And whenever I've played or followed the rules about things, my life has sucked.
Well, I think if you look at any of the great artists in the world, if they ever did what people suggested or expected of them, then their life did suck. And so you always got to go against. It's almost like it's easier that way. People say, hey, you should do this. And you go, I'm going to do the exact opposite. And then you win.
Yeah. I mean, you know, aging heavier. Someone said that to me the other day. I love how you're aging heavier. You know, well, some people want to age gracefully. I want to age heavier. And I don't mean weight-wise, although I did have good catering in Europe. But I just mean that it's a fun world to explore. And what's so wild about it getting older is I thought when you're young that, you know, after 40 you would die. But apparently you don't. And apparently you still stay true to what you think about and what's happening. And you know, I feel at the driving wheel of my creativity. You know, I feel good. I mean, you know, always working on new music and just pushing, because that's where you keep it interesting.
Yeah, you definitely want to get heavier than 16 stone, at least sonically, but not weight-wise. I have no idea how much 16 stone actually is, but I'm pretty sure more than that would be a lot.
Very heavy. Very heavy. Yes, a lot.
Well, and here's the thing. You know, you're getting heavier, which means you're going to be more active on stage. How are things like the knees holding up when you're out there just giving it all?
Oh, God, what a sexless question. I'm doing great, thank you. Just come on now. Let's keep it sexy for the viewers. Jesus Christ. How's your rheumatoid arthritis? Yes, doing okay. Says hi. What the hell?
I can still play some chords. It's all right.
Nah, I do keep an eye on myself. You know, I'm sort of mindful of how to stay fit and agile. And I'm telling you, maybe a different answer to that question if I wasn't in love with ice baths. Ice baths have saved my life, you know.
I've heard good things about those.
Every day. Oh, incredible. I play a lot of tennis, like 3-4 times a week. And man, all tennis players like this. You play like you're 24 years old and the next morning you walk down the stairs like you're 78. So That's all tennis players. So I used to really suffer from that. And when I fell in love with the ice bath, when I say fell in love with the ice bath, it's a terrible experience, but a great result. Oh, I do it every day, 3 minutes, 42 degrees, and it is painful. We do it after shows.
Ooh.
They have a little ice bath. They fill up bags of ice, and boom, you get in there. So about 5 minutes after a show finishes, I am in the ice bath. If anyone's wondering where I am, I'm in an ice bath. 3 minutes, then I get changed and come out and see whoever came to visit. But I always do the ice bath, and it's wild because you feel like you haven't had any exertion at all.
That's amazing. You know, I got to say that anybody out there who's doing show running for, I guess, the Bush shows, now you know why you have to bring an entire pallet of bags of ice, because half of it's for the bus.
No, it's like a trolley. Like, it's no joke. Because the boys have one. Nick, the drummer, me and Corey, the bass player, we would do it. Chris doesn't. He doesn't need it. He's in perfect shape. But the rest of us, mere mortals, we have to. We're like, ice that down. Tell the and it's done me really good.
You got 3 different ice baths that go on tour with you? Wow.
2, actually, because the boys share one for some reason. They're welcome to share mine, but they don't. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, and by the way,
I don't take it personally.
The knee thing may have been the unsexiest question you've ever been asked, but seriously, you got to know that Gavin Rossdale is one of the best-looking guys in music out there. Everybody says so, and I agree. You're one of the hottest guys I've ever talked to.
Thank you very much. I did actually, weirdly enough, on the subject of my knee, now I've been through that, I did, I think it was in Australia, I tore a semi-tear in a ligament in my knee, the meniscus, and I felt it go in the second song, and I was like, oh, shoot, I've got an entire hour and a half, and I knew something had happened, because I played sport all my life, and I kind of avoided a lot of injury. And I was like, something bad has happened. And I did a 10-day tour in agony. And then when I came home, a tear. And I went to go and see someone. I was like, listen, I have an entire organization that depends on this knee. If this knee ain't right, we ain't going anywhere, and everyone's going home. So we had to really, it took a while to get better, but I had to do the whole, just taking care of it majorly. So I was being a bit defensive about the question, but my knee's doing great now, thanks.
But that's good to know. And you could have always just borrowed Dave Grohl's throne when he broke his leg and went out on tour with it.
I could have, but I'm not sure he would have lent it to me. I don't know how he feels about me.
That's a good question. I have no idea. I've never asked him, but I like you, so I'll give you my throne. I don't have one, but I can build one.
I actually saw his studio manager the other night, and I do remember that he was super kind to lend me his studio to record drums on one record, so 606, and so, or 666 actually, studio. So I know he likes me, and he would lend me his throne if he wasn't using it. The chances are he's using it. He's back out there now. It's great to have him back.
Let's go back just a little bit. Have you ever looked back and thought to yourself that you've got one of the most iconic moments in live concert history, and that was when you did Glycerin live at Woodstock, just you and that sea of people by yourself?
I'm just so grateful to have these experiences and to have those moments. There's so many great moments in music history, so to be among those moments is an honor. But that song is wild. You get these certain songs, and they give you life. That particular song, Glycerine, man, it's been the best sort of rocket ship best buddy I've ever had.
When you were recording it, were you thinking, there's going to be some other instrument? Obviously, there's like some strings and mild instrumentation in the background, but it's basically you and a guitar. At what point did you go, no, it's just got to be stripped down, as simple as possible, me, a guitar, and that's basically it?
Well, it always was that, and weirdly enough, I think we even did record drums on it, but when they tried the drums, it just sounded rubbish, so I sang it. I remember I just wasn't experienced enough. It was so weird to do the vocal with no drums in my ear, just the click. That was strange. I remember when I wrote that song, trying to play it to my band, who was sort of not interested in what I was doing and talking amongst themselves. It was like, I have this song. I remember it was so much more accomplished than anything I'd ever written that I was convinced I borrowed it from someone. I was like, whose song is this? Because it sounds better than anything I've ever written, and I'm confused. Does anyone recognize it? And I remember them in Harlesden, North London, at this like terrible rehearsal studio, cheap, nasty, stinky sort of heroin rehearsal room. And he goes, they were so bored, like they started talking halfway through, and I stopped and I was like, guys, I think this song is going to be really good for us. Can you just help me here? So I always remember that experience with him. And then Nigel did that's a string part that he did for his dad, actually. So it's a beautiful memory. But yeah, great stuff. So no, I wasn't experienced enough to know at all what was going on at that point, but I was just full of desire and energy.
Well, and it came across and it worked, and you've got, again, an iconic moment in concert history. I'm a huge fan of everything you've done. Everybody out there should get I Beat Loneliness. It's been out for a while. It's awesome. And you're bringing out one of the greatest bands, newer bands out there, Mammoth. Wolfie is one of the most amazing musicians, and I just love that band, too. So that's going to be a great tour.
Yeah, he's a sweetheart. I only met him once. We did a day of press, and I just, I meet so many butt faces. I can say that. I'm trying to work out the word, the appropriate word for wherever you're broadcasting. And it's such a pleasure. When I meet someone who has humility, to me, it's an aphrodisiac that people just are cool and humble and not push themselves on you. And he really was like that, a very kind, good man, and losing your dad is rough. Unfortunately, everyone has to go through it, and so I felt for him on that. But he was really great. So I look forward to having him on tour and doing all that. So yeah, good times.
Bush and Mammoth and James and the Cold Gun going to be at the Bay Care Sound on May 13th. Gavin, thank you for taking the time today, my friend.
Sure. Thanks, brother. Thank you.